Hey everyone! So right now I'm knee deep in research for my next video. It's going to be a look into a strange experiment that happened in the 1960s. So not MLM related, but amazingly fascinating. So today, instead, we're going to take a look at some stories that I found on the Anti-mlm subreddit that chronicles a few people's experiences with MLMs. Full disclosure, I had skimmed through these stories already just to pick them out of the thousands that are there on the subreddit. So this isn't my first time going through these stories, but I'm also going to be relating these back to my time with MLMs and giving some of my opinions on what these people have gone through. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first one's called My Friend and Musician Sells All His Guitars and Equipment, Will Be Driving a BMW in a Month. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. As the title suggests, this story is about a really good friend of mine. This fella was and is an amazing musician. Alright vocals, but can play the ever-living fuck over the guitar, and was a great freestyle rapper back when that was his bag. So circa 2010, 2011, I was in my first year of college, I was back in my hometown for a visit, and got invited over to hang out and smoke some weed. Oh, and to hear about this awesome new thing that he had been into. It's always how it starts, isn't it? So I get there and a couple other friends are already there. But instead of the normal showing up to him holding court with a guitar in his hands, he's got a projector set up and some girl on Skype saying hi to everyone. So we all sit down. He then decides to go right into the pitch. He's now a brand ambassador for a revolutionary and healthy energy drink that shall remain unnamed, but started with V and rhymed with swerve. I wonder. It's going to be a great opportunity. If you sell enough, you even get given a car. A brand new BMW, in fact. The girl over Skype showed us a picture of hers outside a clubhouse of sorts. Who knows if it was hers or a stock image, honestly. Now our buddy shows us the ceiling-high stack of energy drink flats he's got. This is such a good opportunity that he actually sold all of his guitars and gear to invest in a new start with this shithole company. That's sad. Can you imagine how bad he must have felt for his friend in that moment, knowing that he just gave up all these things that he loves? I should point out that at this point his only source of income was live music and guitar lessons, so he was all in, which made us listen a little closer. He's a smart guy, so this can't be as fraudulent as it sounds, right? So myself and the other two guys who got called in for the pitch were all pretty sales-minded people, either currently working in sales in some capacity or in business school to pursue one. We all started to ask questions, lots of questions. I focused on what the company did to support wholesale, what kind of profit margins, stocking issues, logistics, and guess what I found out? They don't have a fucking clue. Not only that, but none of the now 3 different top-tier salespeople had ever sold a can of this horse piss to anyone but their downline. Wow. Isn't that like the definition almost of a pyramid scheme? That's awful. That was pretty well the final red flag for me, even though the whole day had looked like a Swiss national holiday up until then. I stayed through the rest, nodded politely, and wished my buddy the best on the way out, still having not smoked any of said weed. Yeah, really though. If you hadn't invited me over to smoke weed with you, you better have that fucking weed. On the way out, my friend was exclaiming that he was going places. Not only that, he would be the fastest sales rep to the ultra triple black diamond platinum whatever bullshit level of associate that got you to the BMW. We were all going to see. Well, it's 10 years later, no BMW, no car to speak of actually. He was in it for 6 months, I think. Same as his mentors, didn't think he sold a single can. He did, however, buy some guitars back within a couple of years, and we had a good laugh about how gullible he was. Where is he now, you may ask? He's a life coach, for definitely not a cult. Just goes to show some people really need something to believe in. Now see, I was hoping for a really happy ending when he said that he, had bought some guitars and got out after 6 months. But that sounds like he just moved into another MLM, and I feel bad for this guy. It's really sad. But yeah, if you're required to have that much stock that all of your previous upline has never been able to sell, Red flag. Please run. Don't stay. It's a pyramid scheme. Get out, call your dad, call your mom, get them to come get you. It's a pyramid scheme. Alright, let's move on to story number 2. Alright, and this one's called And There's the MLM Pitch. I give you a story with no real point. Those are the best stories though, guys. Like, I gotta tell you, all of my stories pretty much end with no point, but yeah. And I think I'm hilarious, but let's move on. Husband comes home from work one day and announces he has made an appointment with some financial group that visited his office. Warning bells sound in my head. I know of these sorts, bringing in cheap pizza while scrounging for clients. I asked what company. Husband didn't recall. But husband wanted to explore some possibilities, so I didn't say anything. Tonight was the appointment. Husband had forgotten all about it. We were just sitting down to a lovely steak dinner I had prepared, and I did a great job. When these people come trotting up to the door. Great. Now there goes my Friday evening. Since they didn't want to intrude on our dinner, they visited some relative in the neighborhood, making my evening go late. They return, we put cartoons on for the kids, I set in for the stupor. I quickly realized this is an insurance pitch, WFG. I only realized this by scoring a few glimpses of their paperwork, as they never announced the company until near the end. Husband looked a bit annoyed, having planned entirely for a financial advisor. And yes, I realize with all the products out there, it's a blurry line. 2 hours of Trans-America talk later. I'm tired, the kids need to go to bed, I need to nurse the baby, and I want to ask my husband why he brought an MLM team into our home, but it's finally wrapping up. The lady of the party mentions how much she loves this company and doesn't have to sell essential oils or Scentsy. What? What does that have to do with anything? Why would you bring it up? I let it slide. As they pack up, the guy compliments my husband's questions. Uh-oh. I don't say this to everyone, but you've got a knack for this stuff. Do you have room for a part-time job in your busy schedule? The slide to the pitch was artful. Seconds later, the guy was talking about how he retired his wife, who now babysits for their children, who have also just joined the business. How he knows a guy with a $3 million boat. He himself has a motorcycle. He also hated his last job, and now he goes fishing 4 times a week. The lady repeats how she doesn't have to sell essential oils. She hopes to get more money one day. They both love the company, especially how it's not an MLM, because those are illegal. Alright. This was great. 1. My husband comes home and tells me that he's bringing some financial advisor company over to talk. Nope. Not happening. Sorry. Nope. And then to even bring up the essential oils and the Scentsy, like, why are you putting down one MLM just to try to build yours up? It's all gonna be the same. Like, people suck. People really suck. And to just, intrude on somebody's Friday night like that. That wife has patience of a saint. I commend her for not losing her mind when these people were sitting there spewing their bullshit. Good job. Alright, let's go to the next. Alright, this one's a little shorter, but this is the one that kind of inspired me to do this video, because it reminded me of a time when I used to do home health care a few years ago. So, this one's called No One is Safe, No One. Alright, it begins. So, for brief background, I'm a home health nurse, and I was talking to one of the physical therapists today about a patient that she was going to be admitting to services after a hip replacement. She said, I was really hoping she would choose another agency when she had this done. I got ambushed by her when I saw her last year. She went on to explain that she called her one day to set up a visit to do her therapy for her hip replacement, and the patient told her, make sure you bring an appetite. Now, patients are always trying to foist? Is that a word? Patients are always trying to foist food off on us, and we're really not supposed to eat it, as we really don't know how it's prepared, etc. So she figures she'll just politely decline when she gets there if she offers her anything. She said she walked in and this woman was sitting there with 3 of her friends, and they basically have a pyramid scheme display table set up and wanted to give her the pitch for all of them. Pampered chef, paparazzi, tastefully simple, and some other crap she couldn't remember. She didn't even care about her physical therapy. She just wanted to shill her crap. Even after she was discharged, she still texts a therapist every couple months because she's putting in an order. I feel bad because she has to go back, but at least this time she'll be prepared. So, when I was doing home care in the province that I live in, I had one lady that was very much like this. I walked in, I was not warned, and I walked in to I don't even know how to describe it. It was like an Avon shrine. It's the only words I could think of to really describe this. An Avon shrine. There was like little bottles of perfume everywhere, and catalogs everywhere, and ordering sheets, and blah 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 blah. And all she talked about the whole time I was there was, oh, I made my own business with this. I sell lipsticks to all my friends. Look at how pretty this jewelry is. Ah da da da. I could not get out of there fast enough. Oh my god. It was unbelievable. Now I get, you gotta take every chance you get to like shill your MLM stuff. But if somebody's coming in there to provide medical services, maybe, don't, if possible. It's annoying. We don't like it. Alright, so here's our last one for today. It's called My First Introduction to MLM. New Skin. I was introduced to MLM back when I was 21 years old. I was into leadership and had been posting about quotes when someone I knew from high school messaged me on Facebook. He thanked me for sharing the quotes. He tried to make small talk and then asked me where I was, if I was still studying or was working. I said I was already working, then gave him an idea of where I was connected. Then he briefly mentioned that he was connected in this community as well and was doing a wealth seminar. I was also into personal development, so I agreed and attended the seminar. The seminar happened every Saturday in a coffee shop. We sat in a small table and I was there with others, and we were taught by someone from their community. I was introduced to Harv T. Ecker, Robert Kiyosaki, and etc. They talked about business, finance, and investment. They kept mentioning that before we could graduate, we needed to pass an assignment to make sure we were worth it. Honestly, I was so into it because they talked about it so mysteriously, and they were bragging about financial freedom. My naive and hopeful self then was so happy that finally I would make my entrepreneurial dream come true. Before my graduation, this is where I met the mentor. I was nervous because they talked about this mentor as if she was really rich and all that. When she arrived, she looked pretty average to me. Then she proceeded to discuss the business to me, saying that I was privileged because not everyone had the chance to reach the end of the seminar. Anyway, the business they revealed was Nu Skin. Then they brought up one of the key learnings in our seminar about leveraging on people's money. So for me to be able to pass and graduate, I need to pass that assignment. The assignment was to leverage on people's money. They told me to list down 10 names of people who could lend me 10,000 pesos, or $200. I calculated, so basically they want me, a 21-year-old fresh from college, to borrow $200 from 10 people for the business that they want me to join. What makes it worse was that they want me to borrow people's money without backing me up that if I failed to pay the lender, they would bail me out. Anyway, I didn't proceed, but God, I remember how foolish I was then. I feel bad for this guy. Like, it's not foolish. It's not. I wish that people wouldn't beat themselves up so much when they do fall into these traps that these companies make, because it's so easy. Like, they play on your insecurities, they play on your hopes and dreams, they play on your disadvantages in hopes that they will be able to scam money out of you. And this is an exact show of the reason as to why there is an anti-MLM community and as to why people are so against these companies. You can't just be like, hey, guess what I want you to do? I want you to get a total of $200, 10,000 pesos. Oh, wait. Sorry, $200 per person. That's ridiculous. Why do you need that money from 10 people? And how does that prove that you're able to work a business just because you stole $200 from a person? That's unbelievable. Ugh, people suck. Alright, and with that, that's where we leave it. Those are the stories that I found that really drew me in for this week at least. Any thoughts, any opinions on the stories that I read, please leave those below because I definitely want to hear those from you. And I don't know, subscribe or like or something. I still don't know how to do this, so do whatever you want. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Mwah.